They didn't hunt her because she ran. They hunted her because someone had paid to own her. Out here in the American West, ownership was enforced with paper and guns. And tonight, both were coming. The wind came first, not loud, but deliberate. A dry western wind, dragging dust across frozen ground, scraping the land like it was trying to erase something unfinished. The cabin stood alone at the edge of the valley, low timber walls, roof weighted with old snow, one lantern burning inside, dim, careful. People said no one lived this far west anymore. People were wrong. Her name was Mei Lin Zhao, and she had learned long ago that survival began with listening. She stood near the stove, bare feet against cold wood, a knife in one hand, a folded bundle of paper pressed flat against her ribs with the other. Not money, paper. Outside, the horses did not move. That was the first sign. Then came the knock. Not hard, not confident. 3 strikes, uneven, as if the hand behind them wasn't sure it deserved an answer. Mei Lin did not move. The knife stayed low. The papers stayed hidden. She counted breaths, counted steps, counted how long it would take to reach the back door if she had to. The second knock came slower. The third almost apologetic. No one knocked out here unless they were desperate or dangerous. Sometimes both. She spoke without opening the door. "Who sent you?" she asked. The answer came muffled through wood and wind. "No one," came a man's voice, low, rough, careful with each word. "Just passing through. Storm caught me wrong." Mei Lin closed her eyes. That accent, American but not local, and underneath it, something trained. "Go back," she said. "Town is east." 5 miles east might as well be the ocean tonight, the man replied. The wind rose. Snow began to fall heavier. Mei Lin felt the papers shift under her ribs. The contracts, the seals, the ink that had changed hands without her consent. Paper traveled faster than people, and farther. She stepped closer to the door. The knife trembled once, then steadied. "What do you want?" she asked. "Shelter," the man said. "Nothing else." Silence stretched. Mei Lin knew better than to believe him, but she also knew what happened to bodies found frozen in the morning, and how the law wrote those deaths off as weather. She slid the latch open 1 inch. Cold rushed in, white and sharp. The man stood there, hat low, coat stiff with ice, hands visible, empty. He was tall, broad, built like someone used to carrying weight that didn't show on paper. His eyes lifted to hers, gray, measuring. Behind him, hoof prints already filling with snow. "You're hurt," he said quietly. Mei Lin stiffened. "Not your concern." He nodded, did not argue. That mattered. She opened the door wider, just enough. Inside, the warmth held. Outside, the storm pressed closer. "You stay until dawn," she said. "Then you leave." He stepped inside without rushing, did not touch her, did not look past her. "Thank you," he said. She closed the door. The wind stayed out. Only then did she breathe. The man's name, he said, was Thomas Reed. She did not offer hers. Names were leverage. She moved back toward the stove, kept the knife, kept the papers hidden, because somewhere out in the dark, someone else was riding, not for shelter, but for ownership. And when they came, they would not knock. Morning did not come gently. It arrived flat and colorless, light spilling over snow like an accusation. The storm had erased the world. Fences gone, tracks buried, the land pretending nothing had happened here at all. Marcus stood by the window long before Lynn woke, rifle resting against the frame, breath slow, measured. Ash lay behind him, ears twitching, listening to things the house could not hear. Lynn slept sitting upright, coat still on, body trained never to surrender fully, even to warmth. Marcus had seen that posture before. Men who had learned that rest invited pain. When Lynn finally stirred, it was not sudden. Eyes opened first, then hands, checking space, checking exits. Safe for now. Coffee was already poured when she turned, not offered, just there. She accepted it without comment. Outside, the snow creaked under Ash's weight as she circled the property, mapping danger. "You were right," Marcus said. "Paper travels faster than blood." Lynn nodded, once. They always do. She unwrapped the bundle slowly, deliberately. Not money, not just money. Paper. Contracts, manifests, ledgers, signatures pressed hard enough to bruise the page. Chinese characters alongside English, seals impressed with authority borrowed rather than earned. Marcus recognized the structure instantly. Indenture agreements, transport licenses, employment papers that reeked of ownership. He had enforced deals like these once, before grief taught him what obedience cost. "These names," Lynn said, tapping the page, "station masters, sheriffs, judges, men who pretended not to see." Marcus felt his jaw tighten. "If they find this," he said, "they won't come asking." Lynn met his eyes. "I know. That is why I ran." Ash growled low. Marcus heard it too. Hooves, distant, careful. Scouts. Not law, yet. Lynn folded the papers again, slid them into a hidden lining sewn into her coat. "They're not here for me," she said. "They're here for what I carry." Marcus reached for his coat. "We don't wait." He laid the map across the table. Old ink, worn folds. Rail junction 2 days south. Telegraph office that still sent messages faster than men could ride. Church that wrote letters when courts refused. "If these reach the wrong hands," Lynn said, "they vanish." "If they reach the right ones," Marcus replied, "men die." Lynn inhaled, then nodded. "I did not cross an ocean to stay quiet." Ash barked once, sharp, final. By nightfall, the false shed burned behind the barn. Smoke rose thick, black, deliberate. A lie meant to draw eyes west. By dawn, the ranch stood empty. Tracks led one way. Paper went the other. And somewhere far from this snow-buried land, men who believed ownership permanent began to feel the first fracture. Marcus did not say goodbye to the house. It had already let him go. Law arrived the way it always did out here, late, loud, and already owned. The sheriff rode in just past noon, badge polished, horse clean, boots untouched by the storm that had buried everything else. 2 deputies followed, hands never far from their guns, eyes hunting for permission. Marcus saw them from the ridge before they reached the yard. He did not warn Lynn. She already knew. She had grown up where authority came with smiles and punishment came with paper. Ash stood at Marcus's side, body rigid, waiting. The sheriff reined in slow, deliberate. "Marcus Hale," he called. "We have questions." Marcus stayed where he was, rifle resting easy in his hands. "About what?" Marcus asked. "A Chinese woman," sheriff replied. "Suspected theft, breach of contract, property dispute." Lynn stepped into view, not hiding, never hiding. Her coat was closed now, papers sewn deep, posture straight, eyes level. "I am not property," she said. The sheriff smiled thin. "No one said you were." "That's a lie," Lynn answered. Marcus felt it then, the shift. This wasn't a rescue. This was retrieval. "We're here to escort her back," sheriff said. "Sort things out civil." Marcus laughed once. Civil left this land years ago. Deputy flinched. The sheriff's smile hardened. "Hale," he warned, "you know how this ends." Marcus nodded. "I do." He remembered another yard, another badge, another woman crying while men discussed procedure. He remembered choosing silence. Not this time. "You ride away," Marcus said. "Now." The sheriff sighed. Pity. That's when fire answered. A match struck. Flame climbed the far fence line. Fast. Intentional. Smoke rolled. Lynn moved without instruction. She ran for the arroyo, ash with her. Marcus fired once, into dirt, not flesh. Message sent. The deputies drew. Marcus didn't hesitate. Bone shattered. Horse screamed. Chaos spilled everywhere. Fire spread. Wind fed. Marcus moved like he used to. Cold. Exact. Unforgiving. By the time the flames reached the barn edge, 2 men were down. Alive. Ruined. The sheriff stared at Marcus. Fear stripped clean. "You don't understand what you've done," he whispered. Marcus stepped close. "I understand exactly." He leaned in. "You were paid to forget. Now you will remember." The sheriff mounted, fled, law trailing smoke behind it. The ranch burned, roof collapsing, years turning to ash. Lynn stood beside Marcus. "You lost everything," she said. Marcus shook his head. "I lost nothing that mattered." That night they moved again, faster, harder, no illusion left. By dawn they reached the telegraph station. Lynn laid the papers down, watched the operator's hands shake as he read. By sunset, Names were moving, and far away, men who thought ownership eternal felt the foundation crack. Marcus knew what came next. Reckoning never traveled alone. Reckoning did not arrive quietly. It never did when money felt threatened. They caught up to them 2 days later. Not law this time. Men without badges, without pretense. 5 riders, spread wide, disciplined. This was not anger. This was business. Marcus saw the dust first, low, deliberate. Ash felt it sooner. A growl pulled from deep in her chest. "They're here for me," Lynn said. "No," Marcus replied. "They're here for what you carry." Marcus moved fast, too fast for argument. He guided Lynn into the dry arroyo, pressed her down beneath brush and stone, gave her the pistol. "Only if I fall," he said. Lynn did not argue. She memorized his face instead. When the first shot came, it shattered rock, not flesh. Marcus answered, clean, controlled. 2 men fell before the others understood the ground had turned hostile. Ash charged, too old, too loyal. A rifle cracked. Ash went down hard, breath stolen, body folding. Marcus screamed. Not a word. A sound ripped from somewhere he had buried. He killed then. No warning, no restraint. This time the past came with him. When it ended, 3 men lay still. 1 crawled, 1 ran. Marcus dropped beside Ash, hands shaking. Blood darkened her fur. Too much. Lynn ran to them, pressed cloth, steady hands, dry eyes. Ash licked Lynn's wrist. Tail thumped once. Marcus knew this was the price. Ash died as the sun dipped, quiet, loyal, guarding even at the end. Marcus buried her beneath a cottonwood, hands bare, earth frozen. Lynn stood beside him, not touching, not leaving. "You gave up silence for me," Lynn said. "You gave up her." Marcus could not speak. That night Lynn made a decision. She took the papers, all of them, burned copies, not originals. Then she wrote new ones, names, routes, ledgers. Not proof, confession. She would walk into town, into law, into danger. Not as property, not as fugitive, as witness. "They will kill you," Marcus said. "Maybe," Lynn answered, "but they will have to do it in daylight." She kissed his forehead, not farewell, acknowledgment. By morning she rode east. Marcus watched until dust swallowed her. He stayed, because someone had to. And when men came again, they did not come confident. They came afraid. The town did not know her name when Lynn arrived, but it would. She walked into the courthouse alone. No escort, no protection, just paper, memory, and a spine that refused to bend. Men stared. Some recognized her. Some recognized danger. She did not rush. She spoke carefully, deliberately, as if every word had been sharpened before being released. "I am not stolen property," she said. I am evidence." She laid the papers down, one by one. Contracts, ledgers, signatures, names that paid for silence, names that sold breath. By noon, the judge was pale. By evening, the telegraph wires sang. By morning, men began to vanish. Some arrested, some fled, some found dead in rooms they believed safe. Justice did not arrive clean. It never did, but it arrived loud enough to matter. Marcus heard the news days later. Whispers carried by riders, half sentences, lowered voices. The burned ranch became a warning, a place men avoided. He rebuilt nothing, did not replace walls, did not replace Ash's bowl. He stayed because staying was the point. Weeks passed, then months. Then one morning the wind changed, and someone walked up the path. Marcus knew before he turned. Lynn stood there. Hair shorter, coat plain, face harder, eyes unchanged. "The law remembers," she said, briefly but loudly. "They will not come again. Not here." Marcus nodded. He did not ask what she had lost, or who had died. Some truths carried weight best left unspoken. They buried Ash together beneath the cottonwood. Lynn placed a carved jade piece at the marker. "Protection," she said. Marcus understood. That night the house felt different. Still quiet, but not empty. They did not speak of love or forever. They spoke of land, of seasons, of names worth keeping. Lynn chose a new name, one that belonged only to her. Paper could grant that too, if held correctly. Marcus learned to live with sound again. Footsteps, breath, fire that warmed instead of haunted. He did not become a better man. He became a truer one. And somewhere far from this place, men still whispered about a ranch that burned, about a woman who carried paper like a weapon, about a man who stood and did not move. They learned something the frontier never taught kindly. Some things cannot be owned. Some silences are chosen. And sometimes dust remembers. But Jade endures.